and welcome to this series in learning to program. Today, we'll be going through the programming language known as HTML. What is HTML used for? It's used for creating websites, but not websites as we know them, with the flair and everything like that. No. This is used for creating your fundamentals. It's the skeleton of your website that's needed, but never really shown the appreciation that it needs. But no matter what website you create, you're going to need HTML. So let's start. For creating HTML websites, you're going to need an IDE. Now, you could use any real text editor, but I use Sublime Text 2. There's a description for this below. Now, let's start with creating your first HTML-based website. Now, first, you're going to need to save your website. Okay, so now I'm going to save mine to desktop. And when you do this, you have to select saving as HTML and just call this test. And you got to put the ending .html, then save. Now we can start creating our HTML-based websites. To begin with a website, no matter what you're creating, you need the tag exclamation mark in caps doc type HTML. This isn't always needed, but is preferred in a professional website. This basically tells your web browser that you're using HTML to create your website. Now, after this, you need to have a tag open and have HTML. And now whenever you create a tag, you need to close a tag, which is a / and then the close of the tag. So now we have your basic HTML, but there's nothing inside it. But let's run it anyway. So save your program, go to your desktop, and this is the program that we saved, test. You see it has your web browser icon there. That just means that it's a website. Let's double click on it and see what happens. You see nothing appears, but in the top over here, we have test.html, which proves that this is our website. Let's go back to Sublime Text 2 and add some information. So to begin with, there are many parts to a website that we need to deal with. To begin with, there's your head tag. You have your body tag. And rarely used, but still useful, your footer tag. Okay, now when creating an HTML document, you're going to want to space your tags out reasonably so it's easy to read. I often suggest putting your head, body, and footer tags on all different lines, and then having space between them for places to add. Now, the number one thing you're going to want to know about information in your head tag is your title. Your title is this part up here. Now let's change this to test 1 using the title tag opening and closing. Remember when closing to have the /. Now let's refresh, and as you can see here, it is saved as we have put in HTML test 1. Now in body. In body, we work with many things. We work with headings, such as your YouTube, which will be an H1. So let's practice our H1. You're going to open your tag, H1, and you're going to say, my web page. save, go to your web browser, and there you have your H1. Now to see that this is in fact your HTML, you can right click, go to view page source, and there. This is the exact same as what has been saved in your Sublime Text 2. Now let's just get rid of that. Okay. You don't have only one header. In fact, you have 6. You have your H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. All of these have different sizes. So let's just put a bit of random text in there, just to give us an example of what they all look like. Let's save, refresh our page, and take a look. As you can see, they get smaller as the numbers go down. So now that we have learned the basics and we want to add some text that isn't a header, what do? Well, this is a very simple thing. We're going to add a paragraph, and this goes under the tag of P. And as you remember, you open your tag and then you close your tag. So now you can have whatever you want in here. This is my first web page, and save. There you go. This is your paragraph. You can add many of these. Let's select this. Command C. And paste. Now you have 2 paragraphs with equal spacing in between. So, what else do you need to know about your body tag? Your body tag is your information. This is what's mostly viewed by your user. Your footer tag can be used for your copyrights and all that, which you often use separately, and you'll put in a different color to make it stand out. And in your head tag, you'll put a link to your CSS file, which we'll talk about in a later tutorial. But for now, thanks and goodbye.